What is going on, fellow traders? Welcome to a brand new episode of Trader Takeaways, presented by Wolf Trading Discord Room, sponsored by YouTube, Wolfpack Crew. Today is Tuesday, September 24th. What a beautiful day in small caps. We had a little bit of volatility, a little bit of volume coming in. Hopefully everyone stayed safe, stayed smooth, followed your plans. Today, we traded NBEV, OSTK, TVIX. With that being said, Rebecca, let's roll right to executions. Thank you so much. Now, if we can have a look here, we're going to start off with NBEV. To the right, you can see a 5-minute chart. This thing just gapped up 61 cents from yesterday's close, was today's true range. NBEV is a turd. You guys know this name. If you've traded it, it's a beverage soft drink. This thing was running hard when the pot sector was running. They were going to put weed in it. I think it was even running when crypto was running. They were going to put crypto in it. Who knows? All we know is that there's 78.1 million shares outstanding. We closed today with a 256 million market cap. Not too much range today. I mean, this thing was up. Shorts seem to be tripping themselves to get shares this morning. The relative range today is only like 176 off the 90-day average. And then look over at the 15-minute. I mean, there's a little bit of volume coming in. And then mostly just kind of grinding, respecting pivots. But let's go ahead and pop over to the Jumbotron. Now, here's a 3-year chart. Real quick, we like to get a sentiment off of the 3-year right away. I'm noticing negative earnings quarter after quarter after quarter. And this chart is just bagged. There is trapped uptick volume here in this major consolidation. This is just a bearish chart, in my opinion. Everything that I said today is not advice to buy or sell. This is just all speculation, and please enjoy responsibly. With that being said, let's just go ahead and enhance right here. I want to take a look at potential future resistance. Now, all these lines are marked in the mornings based off of previous volume deposits. Now, we're looking at technical analysis right now. I like the volume profile right here. So these lines are set, as you can see. Now, this thing really, not too much range today. Look, the range today, like I said, not that much range. 40 cents after the open, 61 cents from yesterday's close. I mean, this thing really needs to get up to $5 for larger sellers to pound it, in my opinion. This is just a nice downtrend. There's fundamental resistance on this. 430.19, they entered a 100 million ATM, and I think they're unloading it. Let's just go ahead and go right to executions. Hopefully everyone, like I said, is trading well, trading smart, and just leveling up, right? This is what it's all about. We want to study, we want to level up. So here we are, we're just gapping up. We're catching an initial 325. I remember I smacked the bid. Luckily, I top ticked it. I wonder why there's not a wick there. I don't know. DAS right here, we top ticked it at 325, and I'm just watching this. And I remember watching this technical manipulation. 99% of it was sell orders, and there was a couple of small buy orders up here. But I like to track this manipulation. I like to know what's going on that. Let's head back over to the 1 minute. And actually, real quick, I'm going to enlarge these candles. Sorry about that. All right, so here we are. I'm just piecing this off in pre-market, expecting more strength. We did not get the strength that I wanted to see. I wanted to see something to test at least pre-market highs, being cautious. We didn't. We came up to about 318, 320. I think some guys in the room caught it here. I was waiting for more strength, and I missed it. I hit the bid at like 310. And then luckily I recycled and it came back up. I chased it again, and I noticed that there was a sentiment shift on the tape, and I just exited the position right here. I caught that last bit of seller exhaustion, and then this thing just started to push. I'm going to let this thing run its course. It's got a larger float. Not too many shares available. I know some guys in the room it was tough to get shares, so not too many shorts are ready to pounce on this, and I'm just watching the order flow, watching the tape. Price action is king, watching the volume, and then I got a little antsy right here. I wanted to test pre-market highs at 328, so I jumped in, and I was wrong, so I cut the position, at 330, a little slippage right here. That's fine. I'm happy with that. We'll take a couple cuts on the front, but I definitely want to catch the back, and that's what I did. I was fortunate enough to put on the rest of my shares at 338, and then just caught it nicely right above VWAP. That was my plan. I wanted to catch this off micro support right here. Boom, 322. I caught it. We come back up. I recycled a little bit early because I was, of the mindset with a good amount of people that this was just going to sell off. That was my plan. It did not happen. I gave it a little bit of room. And then right here, we were tracking the algo, or I should say the larger market participants. Look at these volume spikes. Now, these are red flags for me. This is not organic volume, in my opinion. So when stuff like this happens, and I notice that there's about 200K exactly, right? Maximum 1 minute candles at 200K. Now let's just say, if I can do my math on the fly, that this thing's trading about $3, 200K, that's $500,000 per 1 minute. So my mind is telling me that the bank or institution or the largest market participant on the name is giving the allowance of $500,000 per minute. Now that's just something that I'm thinking about. Just keep that in mind when you're trying to track volumes. Trying to track the volume and the algo analytics, which is what we're starting to develop at Wolf Trading Discord. We take these algos and we take them seriously. We want to trade alongside these guys. And what happened right here in this little descending triangle, wedge, whatever you want to call it, the tape just got real quiet. It stalled out. And when it stalled out, I didn't see any edge. I didn't know if it was going to go up or down. In my mind, this algo is just running numbers on the liquidity, on the passive liquidity, and I just didn't see edge, so I took half of it off, and then we snapped. I took another 1/6 off, so I took half off here, and then these final 3 buys, I just took off 6, 6, 6, and I exited the position right here, based off of this potential flag right here, right? I think it was like something like right here. So I saw this, and I remember thinking right here at 317 that this was the opportunity. If it was going to snap, they're going to dump on it now, and it just didn't happen. But we took a winner on this one, and hopefully we'll get some more range out of the name. Anytime NBEV pops, I'm going to remember and expect potential fundamental resistance, right? Check the filings, 430.19. Let's go to OSTK. OSTK, this name has been... Let me just pop it in on this chart. You can observe the numbers in the bottom right. OSTK, Overstock.com. I was on their website yesterday, just taking a look around. This thing, they had their CEO retired or quit. He just dumped about 4.7 or 4.9 million shares, like 90 or $85 million worth of shares. And then they had an S3. ASR, automatic shelf registration. I do believe there needs to be a prospectus supplement on that, but check your filings, guys. If you want to learn more about fundamental education, send me an email. Send our room moderator Elliot an email. Links on the bottom. We're looking for talented guys. We're looking for guys who just want to learn. Wolf Trading Discord room. We're always looking for new members. The room is closed. Send us an email. So OSTK, here we go. Looking at the volume. 35.2 million shares outstanding. Close today with 400 million market cap. Again, I want to know what's the relative range and the relative volume. Relative range off the 90-day. This thing's been moving. I think it just went from like $30 down to like $10. I think maybe we traded a little bit under 10, but this thing has range. We didn't see quite as much range as the average, and almost twice as much volume. So these are the things that I look at. Again, we're pushing up in pre-market, and I'm just kind of sizing in small pre-market size. And this thing, I'm just watching the order flow. I want to get a sentiment on this. A lot of people, a lot of eyes on this. This thing is in play. A lot of news, a lot of fundamental stuff going on. Just a lot of players. It could have the potential to get crowded. So I'm just going to stay back, and I'm going to get my information off the only leading indicator that I have, which is the level 2 in the tape. I want to watch the tape. I have 3 tapes on this bad boy today, and we're just learning, leveling up every single day. So again, I'm sizing in. I caught a little bit early. Executions are right here, guys. Throughout the day, we had 101 tickets, about 50% passive liquidity today. And I'm just trimming down the position. Now I'm watching this at the open. I didn't jump in right here at the open. I want to give this a minute or two. I want to let it do its thing. I want to see what the sentiment is, because we got guys in the room that are short. We got guys in the room who are long bias on it. I'm going to respect those. We got some very, very talented guys in the room, and I just want to give it some time. So then I put together a thesis at 1224 right here. I kept this line. I kept these lines all day, 1224, 1248, and I shout out in the room that I wanted to see this at 1264 was yesterday's point of control. Here's yesterday and today's liquidity. 1264 right here, as you can see. Let's enhance. Right here. This is where it stopped. But look at all this liquidity that's still up there. Now, we didn't trade up here today, but this is all from yesterday, right? This is all trapped uptick volume with the inertia from today acting as the acceleration into yesterday's trapped uptick volume acting as resistance. Boom, there's the battle. So I threw some on. I threw some on at 1248, and I had size at 1276. This is a higher time frame DP. Let's check over to the Jumbotron. Now here's the 3-year chart on OSTK. Let's zoom out. Okay, here we go. Look at this thing. Trash. Now, it's a legit company, but this is a trash technical. This thing's going from 90 bucks down to 10, and it's whipsawy. It's just got a high institutional feel to it, even though it may or may not. But let's just go ahead and zoom in real quick on the local action, right? What's going on recently. And here we go. We're just bearish. A lot of guys are hitting this. It's not even really popping. Look at the volume. A lot of selling volume. A lot of just back-to-back red days. Okay? Now, 1276 right here. 1276 is a decision point for me, right? Like I said, so once this thing comes back and tests 1276 right here, that's where I want to put my size. Not to get sidetracked. Let's go back to the main screen. So it didn't get there. So I didn't get all my size on, but I had a nice little average. I think my average was 1232 was my average. And I didn't want to scalp this one. I wanted to give it some room to breathe. I thought this was the top. I liked the rejection off of 1264. It didn't even get to the DP, so I gave it some room. Finally, I took 1/3 off here, and then I tried to catch a fill in the 50s, and I missed it. Just barely missed it, but I didn't want to chase strength to get a fill because OSTK is sentiment weakness, right? So I'm not going to chase strength up into overall weakness. I'm going to just let it do its thing and then catch the fills I want down here. Now, this was a core trade, but right here, I took an outside of the play scalp. I took 1/3 off here, and then I took 6 right here, and then I just cut half of that, and then I just took it out right here. So basically just a little wash right here. Outside the core play, and then I'm letting this thing fade, and I'm just taking profit. All of these targets are set out in front of the tape, so I'm just catching passive fills. And then right here we got a red green line at like 11:21. I ended up just grabbing. I hit the offer at 11:24 and 11:26 with the last 50. So I put 100 shares right here from like a 13.32 average or something like that, and then boom, this thing just shoots right up. I'm flat at this point, which is good, and I'm just letting this do its thing. I'm not going to jump in early. I did jump in a little bit early, but 1180 was yesterday's resistance in my opinion. And this algo, this market participant really spent some money and pushed this thing up. This was the worst cut of the day right here for me. I was getting a little bit emotional right here. I'm trimming out right here, taking about 3/4 off, I believe, and then I'm letting it push, adding some back, trimming early. Then it pushes again, and this is an SSR play. It was tough to get in, very tough to get in back here. But I could have traded this better, but we're gonna learn off this. This is an emotional trading right here, especially right here. Let me just highlight that, right? Because we want to highlight our losers. We want to look at our losers. This is the part of the chart that interests me. I'm not going to be looking at these bottom ticks, and I'm not going to be, we focus on the mistakes. That's how we get better. This was a great trade, a lot of learning, just a great trade. And the last TVIX. TVIX, I think this is an ET. This thing just popped on my scanner. I avoided the entire front, basically. I think this thing is an ETF. Let's just put it in real quick. I think it's an ETF for the VIX. And like I said, I don't know too much about it. It's up. It hit my scanner. See, I don't have any data on it too much. So I believe it's an ETF. I'm not sure. I know that it's up from some trade talk and stuff like that. I see this news down here, but basically I want to mark my lines, mark my levels. I go through my process repetitiously, the same process, and I always lean back on the price action and the order flow. Right on the order flow trader, I want to know what's going on. I want to see it. I want to attack, and that's what I did. I got in a little bit early right here, as you can see. All these trades that are boxed like this is a full cut. These are separate trades. So I jumped in, I cut. I jumped in, I cut, and I jumped back in. Right, just learning how to read the tape and notice the deacceleration on the way up, stalling. Right, deacceleration, stalling, and then acceleration to the downside. When I start to see acceleration to the downside, I want to enter. So I hit the bid right here at 1426, small size, and then I'm just piecing it out. I'm letting this thing unwind. Now this is a newer strategy for me, so I'm using smaller size. I think this was like 250, and then I'm just piecing it out 50, 50, 50, small size. But I want to get in there. I want to get in that on that tape. I want to get in there with these guys, ladder trader, prop traders. I want to compete with these guys, and that's what you're seeing here. A lot of executions, commissions can tear you up, but just this is how I traded it, and just trying to manage risk on the way up. Example, like right here, like trying to catch buyer exhaustion. At 1422, and then just taking some profit, and then when price comes back up, I'm trying to cut at my entry. That's going to be a strategy for me. I can always get back in on the way down, and that's what I did here, and I'm just unwinding the position. Again, here's another great example, even though smaller range, but I'm entering in at buyer exhaustion. Right, I'm noticing the tape. I'm noticing the stalling, the sentiment shift. I'm watching sellers stack and buyers coming down. I want to see the bid drop. On the level 2. I want to see the bid. I want to see the bid decrease in size, and I want to see the bid come down. I want to see buyers pulling back. And if you watch the tape enough and the level 2 enough, you kind of just get a cognitive feeling. It's a feeling. You just got hours and hours and hours, and I'm not even that good at it. I'm just letting you know what I know, and I cut this position full. Took a little profit, cut in the money, right? Because I can always get back in. And again, right here, this was a passive fill. I didn't see anything on the tape except for technical resistance at this level, and I put my order out. Now, as price is starting to come to me, right when I get close to this fill, I want to make sure everything is still clean. I want to make sure the plan is still intact. Now, if I see something like a huge bid coming in or a big swipe on the offer, those are things that are going to disengage on my thesis. Now, my thesis was intact, so I took the fill. This is a passive fill. I leaned in on this, and I took it. So we're taking fills at 1408, and then about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, some news came out. I wasn't too sure about what exactly came out. I think it was some trade talk, and there's some stuff going on in the executive branch of our government. We're not going to get into politics, but this thing just sold off. And again, it's also mirroring or sympathy play to the VIX. Right, so I had both charts up. Now this is a very similar chart, right? I mean, this is at this is a sympathy play, 1411. And the sell-off here, 1412, 1411. So I'm just piecing this one out. Real happy with this one right here. These targets were set in front of the tape, right, against micro support here, right? I'm taking the same fills right here. Now, when this thing crashes down, let me just give you guys a little pro tip. Not that I'm a pro, but when the tape is selling off like this in the major flushes and washes and rejections, you're going to get a more honest tape. And that's what I saw here, right? People don't have time to manipulate as much as they do when stuff's trading sideways. So these are the times when you want to pay the most attention to level 2 and tape. You're going to get an more honest read, in my opinion. And these levels I'm watching the size of the prints and the speed and the color, because that's really all I can see. I can't keep track of the sizes and add them and all that, but I'm just watching it flash, and this thing is just rolling hot, right? The tape is smoking, and we're just catching fills, and I think it was like quarter. I think a third, sixth, something like that. this was the larger fill, I believe. I'm not too sure, but these fills right here were I switched over to guns hot, and I took these fills manually. Right, I got what I wanted here. These were all targets, and then we're just watching the tape. And I thought I did pretty well on that right here. I mean, this thing flushed, 80 cents, and I caught, I caught it pretty good right here. Manually operating, trying to bottom tick. And then again, we're coming back up. Now again, this is a nice push, right? Look at this V. We call it V pattern. Right down, right up. Manipulation. But it is news based. And then again, now this strength right here from 13.30 up to 14.30. So we got $1 of strength right here. I'm shorting this whole strength right here. Not the best, but this was a profitable, counter trend trade. Again, you can just see I'm just kind of leaning in, and I'm not going to go add unless I'm selling, unless I'm buying on the way up, right? So I'm protecting myself. I'm trying to work up into a core, up into an average, and then just unwinding it. And I was flat here. Again, it's pushing back up, giving it some strength, giving it some time. And then this was a trader error right here. I was checking the position in my montage. I had 700 shares. I remember this. And I wanted to take off 100. And I checked my position, and I forgot. And I had 700 in the montage, and I took the whole position off right here at 1382. And then I didn't know that. And then I failed on the next target, and now I'm long. And my rule states that when I'm long, I just immediately sell. I don't look. I just sell. So I got flat right here. And then again, here's the worst trade of the day. Look at this right here, trying to size in against this potential higher high as a top, but I didn't cut it. I added again off of this, and I didn't cut. Now again, this thing flushes and gives me an opportunity, and I'm staring at the level 2 at 401, and I'm like just freezing. I should have took it right here. I almost did, but this is emotional trading. This is the last chance to cut right here. What is going on? This is not how we trade right here. So then I finally do take it off, and then waiting for confirmation. Again, I entered at a good spot. I'm still able to read the tape, even though I'm emotionally potentially on tilt, but just taking fills. Ding, 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 and I'm flat right here. Last little bit at 13.98. This is a winner. A lot of executions, especially for your newer guys, but man, just get on that tape, watch the volume, and just formulate a strategy that can potentially, that you can build on. And with that being said, sorry if this video ran a little long, guys. Let's go ahead and hop over to the Wolf Trading Discord room. And just want to give you guys a quick look and see what in our runner's room. Let's take a look at what's running. These are going to be on potential watch for tomorrow. AIM. AIM was just an all-day fade, green to red, game over, lights out. It was just a runner. I just keep it in the room because I want to see how it ran for next time it runs. But there's not much on that. Fran was in play, low float a few days ago, just kind of selling off, and we had some volume coming in today. There was an SC13G that was filed. I think 9.2% ownership. It was a weird filing. They didn't show the price that they bought it at, but they do have 10 business days to file that, so it could have been on day one or before day one a few weeks ago. They checked institutional, they checked broker dealer, and they checked bank. So I'm not sure who it is or much about them, but they own 9.2% of the entity. NBEV, we went over that one again today. It's just kind of sideways. A lot of stocks are trading sideways with larger floats. This thing could pop. It's going to need a good amount of volume. I want to see this thing at $5. That's where I want it. OSTK we went over. IPWR, just a nice little fade, super, super thin. I think the thing only traded like 500K, not even. OVID, a couple guys in the room had this on watch. OVID, respecting levels, a nice higher low, higher low, higher low. It could get another leg. USAT, just kind of technical manipulations, just swipe down, swipe up. There's that V pattern again. We got it on watch. We don't necessarily like this type of manipulation, but we like this. We like the players that come into the market after the manipulation because we like to compete against those guys. All right, guys, that's it right there. Stay safe. If you're interested in joining the room, send myself or email Elliot, our room moderator, an email. Links will be down below. All right, guys, thanks a lot for your ear, and have a great evening.